Hey everybody, it's great to see you again. We are at the end of the year. I'm here with my mate, Rebecca Karcher, who is here. We're here to talk to you about what happened this year. It's kind of an annual thing for us.
It is. We've been doing this for a while now.
Yes, and you've been doing it with us for a while too. So it's good to see you again. And here we are. What happened this year?
Well, like always, we felt like, man, we're not really doing that much.
Usually in June, we're sitting around like, man, nothing's really happened.
And then we start listing it all out and we go, oh my gosh, this is why we're tired.
Yes, for sure. Oh my gosh.
So obviously, because of where we are in the fireside room, this is probably the biggest project, certainly the longest running project of the year.
It is.
The Wagonals and the kitchen, remodel, refresh. What little tidbits do you want to share about that?
Well, we found out as we kind of anticipated, but if you've ever remodeled anything in your house, right? You think you know what's going to happen to you, and you would be wrong.
There's so much more.
Because, it affected so many things. Even though we kind of planned for some of those things that were affected, I think we lose track of how much we actually use this space, how much we do in here.
And the contingent space.
Yes.
We do all of our own printing in-house of the bulletins and mailings and things, and we knew we would be without our print process for, I think we thought 6 weeks?
Yeah.
And it was closer to
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was what it was.
But that was a hassle every week.
That's right. Time. Every week it changed how we did things. Upstairs in the offices, you didn't quite know when you were going to, and then boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
When they were knocking down a wall downstairs. You remember how the whole...
I had dental nightmares for weeks. It sounded like a big dental drill. Oh, God.
And then they were on the roof forever.
That was weird to have footsteps on the roof. Yeah. But in the end...
Here we are. Yes, here we are. A great thing. We began and ended on time.
Yes.
Yes, really remarkable. Hagerman Construction did a remarkable job in managing all of those sorts of things. Our own Brian Eastman also did remarkable work in helping to keep so many things online and working with us.
He was juggling chainsaws.
Oh my gosh, he was. I mean, again, if you've ever done anything at your home, that go between the people here, what our needs were, what the contractors needed, Brian manage all of that.
Well, and all the things that are scheduled in all the rooms throughout this building at any given time, nearly everything was impacted and had to be rescheduled, reconfigured, retimed, not the least of which was community dinner and Waffle Church.
Yes. So
both of which continued to grow in the time that they were.
So we put them into a smaller space and they got bigger.
And added people. Yes.
Yes, and added more people. If you had passed through here, so many of the things that happened in Wagonals then got moved out into that Washington Boulevard gathering space. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we talked a little bit about it being like camping out. Because it kind of was our version of camping out. Things got moved out there and we got kind of sick of being out there too, just like it happens when you are camping.
But you had said the other day, and this is so true, we are really grateful for the resourcefulness and the camaraderie of all our volunteers who just rolled with the punches. I think they did an incredible job of coming in each week and saying, oh, that's off limits. Oh, we can't use that. Okay, we'll go over here. We'll do this. I mean, it was heartwarming.
Yes, I mean.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you to all, because not just community dinner and Waffle Church, which were very, very large things on a regular basis, but also things like dinner for E3 kids.
Yes.
The small lunch, the small lunches for, Fridays
after the Fridays in May. Yeah.
And
Fridays in September, I think.
Yeah, we were still touching on that. Yeah, still touching on that in September. The Handing Out Hope program that happens on Wednesday, just coordinating. Everybody really was a very good, amazing cheer.
Yeah, and the Handing Out Hope had some additional challenges, lost a major partner, and so some of our volunteers, Barb Mangus, Sylvia Smith, Sherry Yeoman, and probably Ryan Hendricks, among the most leadership group of that, figured out ways to just keep things going, making sure we had some kind of food to hand out to the neighbors who have come to rely on Wednesday lunches here. So that's great.
And relying on our neighbors was a big thing, especially for community dinner.
Yeah, yeah. We also, speaking of a few little glitches, we probably have wrapped up our time with Lunch on the Square. The You Talk, I Listen, we may bring back in a different location. Who knows?
Who knows?
But probably not in Fryman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then we did have the Be a Tourist event.
Be a tourist. Yes, be a tourist. If you happen to be with us, that was a great time. It's been a great time the last few years. But it felt like this year the community really, to say they didn't swarm us, but there were people. It was kind of crazy. You'd come into the church. There were people just kind of wandering through, and others of you, some of you, helping interpret what they were seeing. There was this
large line to go up and look out the tower.
Yeah. Just this whole lineup of people sitting up in the gallery up there, just kind of patiently waiting their turn to be able to go up and see the space from that.
And our adjunct minister, Roscoe the Camel,
oh my gosh,
has now been promoted to evangelist.
Roscoe the Camel, because we got this family joined us because of the camel. Laura Hoffman, our receptionist up front, took this phone call. A family wanted to join, and the reason that they wanted to join was that they came here on the day of Be a Tourist, and the reason they came here was because their granddaughter wanted to meet the camel.
So Roscoe, your check's in the mail. Gosh, what else? Well, we had lots of music things going on throughout the year, of course. Some of the scheduled things like Fridays in May, Fridays in September, May Music Fest. Candlelight. We had a couple different colleges visit and do concerts. Kicked off a jazz worship service.
Yeah, we did in October a jazz worship time, and that's going to become a regular thing here in 2025. So watch the announcements. It'll be regularly posted on one of the Sundays for each month, and that's going to include local jazz high school programs, local jazz impresarios. Our own Kevin Klee is coordinating that, sometimes writing some original music and some original transpositions for that to happen.
We did our Ashes to Go, which we've done for 5 or 6 or 7 years now. Ashes to Go over at Parkview Field on Ash Wednesday. And this year during the Lenten season, we did Commitment to Acts of Mercy.
Yes. If you remember that, we had each week during the Lenten time a particular act of mercy, opportunity to engage in something in this community, from feeding hungry people to helping collect clothing for the naked. All of them are related to the things that Jesus talks about in St. Matthew chapter 25, feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, visit those who are in prison, offer healing to the sick, all those sorts of things. And everybody responded in just this beautiful fashion.
And in that same time period, Ava Barron, one of our high school students, was doing a project for school and asked if she could utilize the church community to help her. And woo, baby, did we come through.
It was kind of funny talking to both Ava and the Barron family, in that they were really overwhelmed by literally, figuratively, and emotionally overwhelmed by your generosity in helping Ava in that project.
Ava and her team had wanted to collect period packs for middle school girls. Apparently there's a lot of statistics that show girls have a lot of challenges at school when they don't have the proper needs attended to. And so Ava and her team were going to make sure that at each of the middle schools in Fort Wayne Community Schools, there were supplies ready for them. And I think they had hoped to do 35 packs or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they ended up with 1,200, 1,200, thanks to your generosity and your response. And I think they were living among piles of donated goods.
Yeah, it was really just this really beautiful thing, both your support of one of our kids, but your support of that program in helping middle school. And I think some of it ended up drifting towards high school then as a consequence.
Yes, and the difference that makes. I think they ended up going to 8 schools in Fort Wayne Community Schools. So that's
helping girls, and also helping girls stay in school.
Right. Then also for families, we've had family movie nights. We've had Parents' Night Out, where they could drop off their children for safe and secure childcare and a couple nights where the parents would stay and they would do family things together. So there's lots of different socializing and opportunities for just a little bit night out of the house kind of thing without it being a big fancy time consuming and dollar
And again, those
consuming.
things happened in the Washington Boulevard Gathering
Yes.
area. I mean,
Yes.
a movie would be downstairs in the theater, but again, out front in the Catch as Catch Can social hall.
And there's always talk about what can we do more for families with little kids? What can we do more for children? And so the Vacation Bible School, the youth took a trip to Washington, D.C. and did numerous things, many of them sort of social justice related, and had very moving experiences and learning opportunities.
Yeah, the opportunity to actually even meet with some civil rights leaders from back in the day. I mean, some famous.
One of the Freedom Riders?
Yeah, one of the Freedom Riders who's still living, and just to be able to talk with them about that. I think the other thing too to add into all of that is if you have the chance to look around in the nave, look around in the church, we've really been blessed with an explosion of young families, small children. If you come to Waffle Church or come past through there, you see this just massive numbers.
How many folks are you getting at Waffle Church now?
We're just under 90. 87, 88, 89, 87, 80, 89, it's...
I'm married to one of the waffle makers. I hear it's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. But then, you can see then at the 10:30, many of those people drift in for 10:30 when it's not Waffle Church Week.
Yeah.
You also then see increase in the small children and the children's choirs. So thanks to
And of
Emily
course
Bird.
there's Sunday school.
Right, and the Sunday school programs have more children in them.
And the littlest ones go to Catechesis of the Good Shepherd?
Yes.
What is that?
Well, that's Catechesis of the Good Shepherd is a program that our own Megan Doring, who oversees our smallest children ministries. Megan worked with actually some people out of Notre Dame to get instruction of how to teach things about God and Jesus and church to the smallest children. And they meet in this, they call their room the atrium. If you're familiar with Montessori education,
Which Megan was.
Which Megan was, it's very similar. The ideas are very similar. There are tactile things. In the room, they talk about what happens in worship. They have a little tiny altar. They have a little tiny pulpit. They have a little font, And so, kids act out these things. And it's aimed for 3, 4, 5-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of cool.
On another topic, we've started offering meditation on Monday at 12:15. We have open to anyone who wants to come, free of charge. You can sit through about a 30-minute meditation guided by Regina Leffers and Kimberly Cozen-Flory. We do that, I think they do that in the chapel each week.
Yes, they do.
And it's just a lovely little 30-minute time. If you need a little break in the day, come on by. You're always welcome to join us midday on Zoom for midday prayers at 11:45.
Yes.
That's a nice little community, and you can just pop in and out of that if you'd like. We've started yoga on Wednesday evenings at 6:15. It's really fun. It's really good. Alejandro Soto is our instructor. He's a certified instructor, and makes sure that the classes are appropriate for all ages, all abilities. We've had a real nice vibe going in there on 6:15 on Wednesday evenings. That we do ask for a free will donation if you're able, and if not, come anyway. It's a really
one of our
nice
people is sponsoring that to make
Yes.
certain that it's available to everybody who would like to come and be part of that.
And that's been a really nice time. So we've got all kinds of things going on besides the Monday morning Bible study, the once a month Wine and Wisdom, Welka group.
Welka did many of the traditional things, including kits and quilts. Well,
Quilts.
quilts. They made. I suppose
Quilts?
you could turn it into a kilt.
You could, but they don't.
That gets sent internationally.
Yeah, through Lutheran World Relief.
Lutheran World Relief and health kits. Lutheran World Relief has been making health kits since I was a wee child.
Those go to people who've been mostly in natural disaster or wartime, war areas.
Yes, so all of that goes there. So Welka's been busy with some of that, and there are other programs.
They hosted a book signing with one of our members, Nancy Carlson Dodd. They did a take and go dinner to help families learn how to make a meal and take with them, to help those busy evenings get a little bit simpler. And they always sponsor things at Mother's Day and Christmas time for the Women at Redemption House, which is a program women are allowed to choose instead of incarceration, kind of getting their lives back on track and getting addictions handled, and getting ready to be parents again.
Yeah, and WELCA has really done, I mean, over the last several years, just become really large supporters of Redemption House and the things that go on with that. So the biggest thing in terms of our ongoing church stuff is we welcomed our new associate pastor, Pastor Lee Zanstra. Deacon Mary Lassitz had joined us last October, but then we had both of them kind of up and running here. The vote to extend the call to Pastor Zanstra was in January, so both of them were up and running by the beginning of February. Officially. I mean, Pastor Zanstra had been here with us a little bit in a sort of unofficial capacity, but both of them up and running beginning of February. Then in November, because of a variety of things, we finally got around to installing them then with a big liturgy celebration in November. And so officially they're here. They're stuck with us now.
And we're glad, and we hope they're glad.
Yes. So you've all probably had a chance to meet them, run into them, see the work that they do.
On one Sunday a month, typically in the school year timeframe, Hope in Action does projects on Sunday morning, and those are intergenerational, family participatory kind of things. They have connected with lots of our community partners like Project Me and Humane Fort Wayne, and they have had some really good success and really nice turnout to some of those events. So keep an eye out. It's usually the second Sunday of the month.
And speaking of Humane Fort Wayne, we have partnered with them for a little bit, doing a bit of a pet ministry. Thanks to Sherry Baumgardner, one of our members who is passionate about both pets and Humane Fort Wayne.
Yes.
I think Sherry is one of their prized volunteers.
Yes, I think
realized
she is,
she's an integral volunteer there in their work.
As she is here.
Yes, very much as she is here. So, but together with Sherry and Humane Fort Wayne, we're doing a little bit more with those and trying to work with those who value their pets and that ministry that takes place across the city.
Animals and their people.
Animals and their people.
Yeah, pets without a person.
Pets without a person
are only animals. Yes. Think about that. We had done a food drive for pets at one point. We've done several food drives for humans. And with the latest numbers tallied up from Community Harvest Food Bank on our food drives, we have collected an equivalent amount of food to the weight of 2 camels.
2.
That's how we're going to measure everything now, in camels. So that's about 1,800 pounds, by the way. So hopefully that is helping to feed our neighbors, and it gives us another excuse to talk about camels.
Yes, but we don't feed any camels with any of that food.
We also did our pumpkin compost after Halloween, where people can bring their starting to go bad pumpkins and squash and fall things, and they get new life by being recycled into compost and food for rescue animals. Then we also had our Night of Lights, a rainy, cold Night of Lights, but still a really cool event, and hopefully we'll get to do it again.
Yes, if you missed Light of Nights, it was just this amazing, spectacular display of video on the Washington Boulevard side of the building.
Projected onto the building.
Yes.
It was really, and there is a video, I think, still on our website if you want to take a peek at it, because it was really something. And not a lot of people came out because it was really cold and really wet, and it got more so as the night went on. But that did not detract from the level of coolness that it was.
Right. So next year, put it down. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Plan on being here to join us. Rain, snow, shine, whatever. It'll be going on, but we hope to see that grow in the years to come.
We had Advent. We're in Advent.
We're in Advent.
And our usual Advent project is the angel tree.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
And so we're working again with Youth Services Bureau, and with the kids that they work with, we're doing collections of just things that you need to feel like you can fit in. Things that for many of us we just take for granted. Soap, shampoo.
The middle and high school students who are helped by Youth Service Bureau, by and large, are either unsheltered or tentatively housed, may not be living with their families of origin. And so just to be able to continue going to school, and nobody, especially at that age, wants to stand out as the weird one, right? So collecting things that, help you feel clean and be able to present yourself as just another kid in the hallway of the school. Those are the kinds of things we're collecting, and people again are being very generous with their donations of items and of funds.
Yeah, we have bins and bins of stuff this year. For the first time, we're collecting the actual stuff, but just an amount of stuff. And it's hard to say thanks enough to you all who are participating in that, because it's hard to understate how important these very, very small things are to middle and high school kids.
Yeah.
Things that we don't usually think about, to toss a toothbrush in the basket when you're at the grocery, or a comb or a brush. Think we kind of are toss-off things, but for kids who are in that situation, how important that really is, and how important it is that you've helped make that happen for them.
So we're working with that, and they provided some of the quotes that Pastor Erdis included in the Advent devotional booklet, which is a really nice set of information that is available on the website, or we have some hard copies here. A devotion booklet that right now is set up for Advent, but it looks like the kind of thing you could use any time of year and find meaning in.
The last thing really we haven't talked about, we skirted around it, but one of the biggest things that happened this year was with our community dinner program. And when we were closed down, obviously we had no water in the kitchen, we had no kitchen.
Right.
And thanks to so many of you who are part of this congregation, you were committed to making certain that our neighbors had food, that
still had the Thursday night dinner.
Right. So, and really we had thought around about it, but before we had even said anything, so many of you had come to us and said, what are we going to do? We can't stop community dinner because the community depends on us and depends on you and the things you make happen.
We had 28 Thursdays without a kitchen. So through the hard work of some of our volunteers and a little bit of staff, we found, I think, 14 or 15 restaurants and caterers here in town who helped us provide a meal each week. We still had our full cadre of volunteers who were serving and plating and mingling and chatting and cleaning up after the dinner guests. It was really something. Initially, we thought we would need more partners in that, but so many of them said, we'll do once a month. We'll provide something for you, more than one time. And that was really overwhelming and touching and effective, because we still got to feed sometimes as many as 150 people an evening. That's kind of getting to be our number now.
Yeah, but to say also that in all of that, all of those caterers, all of those restaurateurs either provided the dinner, provided it for us to give to the community, or at a very reduced cost. That it cost us nothing more from our needs to be able to run that program. Their generosity was boundless, really, in all of that. And it was this beautiful thing again to see week after week, a little truck or a van pull up from some restaurant, some caterer, drop off a mountain of food, cooked, prepared, ready to be served, and our volunteers receiving that and then offering that back up to our neighbors.
And then just as we are approaching the end of the calendar year, we will participate once again in the longest night observation at the rescue mission, which looks at the community of our unsheltered and homeless individuals, and particularly remembering those who've died in that community this year. They always do that on the longest night, the most darkness. we remember those lives and remember even the ones whose names we don't know, but we do by name remember those in our community who've passed.
Right, right. And in all of that, I think it's important to offer to you all that there's so many of the things that we do that are very traditional church, week after week after week, which are important in our lives together, important in who we are. You know, Sunday morning, Sunday school, things like Waffle Church, choir programs, music programs that touch our lives here deeply in this building and form us as a community. But then what you help and make possible here in the broader sense that this church is both that and something more in this community. I know. But
even in helping make that connection with the community, the live stream is a really important thing. Our 10:30 service every Sunday and all of our Christmas Eve services, live stream allows people who can't get here or don't live near here, maybe they're having mobility challenges temporarily or ongoing, but they can still feel that they're part of what's happening here. We also have Pastor Jeremy Russell and Pastor Judy Folas who make visitations, hundreds of visitations a year to folks who are part of our community but just are unable to physically be in the building. So I think it's an ongoing commitment we have to try to make sure people feel as connected as they want to be.
Well, and I think we say to so many people, we really are a church first. I mean, what we do is that we are a church, you know, it's a church. We do pretty ordinary church things. And all of that plays that out in that way. And then because of your commitment to this place, we do a myriad of other things in the broader community. We have the opportunity, both Rebecca and I have the opportunity on sometimes almost a daily basis of hearing what your church means to this community in its broadest sense. There's really...
Sometimes it's really surprising and really touching.
People that you don't knew anything about who we are aware of what you do and what you make possible in this city. And it happens all the time. It just happens, you know, and I wish we could express to you how many times, each time we hear from people in the community about the good work that you make possible through the lives that pour out of being a church.
Yeah.
That just comes from you being a church and an embodied church in a way that transcends even just Sunday. You know, as important as Sunday is to us, transcends all of that into the week. 365 days a year, what you make possible in our lives together.
So I wonder what 2025 will hold.
The camel will be back.
The camel will be back. Of that you can be sure.
I don't know. It'll be pretty cool. We should line these up against each other then next year.
Yeah. Well, one thing is 2025 is the 100th anniversary of our sanctuary.
Yes.
And we've got some fun things planned and in the works and in the formative idea stages, but just kind of reasons for parties and fun and playing and remembering and all that good stuff. So thanks for 2024.
Cool. Yeah, it's been a great year. Thanks to all of you. You helped make this a really great year, even in the midst of some really crazy things. Thanks for everything you did.
And hanging in there with us.
So we'll see you. We'll be hanging in with you then in 2025.
Bye.